Was the harem.
The harem, 6,000.
Or 12,000 in Cairo. A guy have 12,000 harem in Cairo. This is a little bit shocking news here. Well, Brother Joseph, let's continue. We're going to continue with the historical perspective, and we hear this one very important piece I maybe share with you a little bit early. Listen carefully what it says.
Islam's black slaves also reveals that the castration of male slaves was commonplace in Muslim households. The Khalifa in Baghdad had 7,000 black and 4,000 white eunuchs in his palace.
So they have them as eunuchs.
Notice not just black, but white.
Oh, it doesn't, no, color was not an issue. As we see in North Africa when Thomas Jefferson went in war, I mean, African were taking our people, the white, when they were attacking the ships.
And the Turks, the Ottoman Turks, took the Slavs in Eastern Europe, and I don't have it in front of me. I don't have absolute proof. We could look it up. But I understand the etymology of the English word slave comes from the word Slav.
That's true.
From the Ottoman Turks.
I've studied this myself. I know this to be a fact.
Taking the white Slavs to be their slaves.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's actually the beginning of slavery. Let's continue a little bit more.
Islamic teachers throughout the centuries have consistently defended slavery, for there must be masters and slaves.
That is the scholar, the Muslim scholar are teaching. There will always be masters, there will always be slaves. Allah said it in the Quran, Muhammad said it in the Hadith, it's over. You don't even want to argue with it, you don't have to fight it. It is Islam ideology, it is a belief, it's a way of life, get over it.
We have one caller, I believe, Mary, who'd like to talk to us, and we'd like to welcome you on the air. Mary, welcome, you're on the air with Jesus or Muhammad. Okay, is Mary with us? No, okay, no callers.
Maybe she can call us back.
You're welcome to call back. And listen, callers, any of you are welcome to call. Christian, Muslim, whatever you are, you're welcome to call. But we have, okay, we do have another caller. Okay, we have a lot of information to cover. And so whoever calls, Christian, Muslim, or otherwise, we need you to be on topic tonight. If you're not on topic, we just can't give you time. We already gave a Muslim 10 minutes of our time of a completely off-topic, foolish question. We can't afford to do that again. Let's take the next caller right now. Welcome, you're on the air with Jesus or Muhammad.
Peace of Christ to you, Brother Joseph and Brother Osama.
And to you, Christian Prince.
Sorry, Brother Osama, I did not receive your message earlier, so I apologize.
That's okay, brother.
The topic about slavery is extremely important, but you know what? I would like Osama to read for us. I don't know if he has his own Quran translation, because maybe most of people who are watching the TV do not know that you have a book. You translated the Quran. So I don't know if you have your own translation there for chapter 30, verse number 28. In that chapter,
70-20. I have your
30-28.
Here's your Quran, Habibi.
Oh, thank you so much.
28.
All right, I got it, brother CB. Go for it.
Okay. And here, you know, in this verse,
30-28.
I'll give you time to find it so you can read it for us. In this verse, Allah is telling the Muslims, like, are you going, like, do you yourself, do you consider yourself equal to your slaves? Are you going to share with them your glory and your property and your, you know, what you own? Simply, no, you will not do that. You know? So this is supposedly a parable from Allah to the Muslims, showing them that this is how He do not consider the one, you know, who is He, Allah, to the slave. They are the slave, you know. So Allah is God. They are slaves for Him. You know, it's a chain of slavery. Like, I'm your master. As a Muslim, and you as a Muslim, you are a master for somebody else. So he's speaking to them, saying, are you considering yourself the same as the slave you own? You know, I will let Brother Osama to read it, and then we will continue, if you don't mind.
30 verse 20. If you read it in my translation, it's a little bit better than others.
Okay, this is for our viewers. The reference is 30-28, and we're reading from, now what do you call your translation?
The Generous Quran. It's just a name.
Okay, Quran al-Karim. We're reading from the Quran al-Karim translation. And it's Surah 30, verse 28.
Yes.
He sets forth a parable to you from among yourselves. Do you have from what your right hand possessed?
That's the word slave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of partners in what we provided you, so you are alike in it. You fear them as you fear yourselves. Likewise, we expound on the verses to an understanding people. That's 28.
Yes.
Now, can we have some exegesis from the both of you? Because in English, I'm looking at it in Yusuf Ali and others, CP, and even in Osama's, and in English, this is very obscure.
Well, always in English, they try to make it look different, when
Yeah.
you translate, but it's still showing it clearly that
Yeah.
even Allah, when He is giving an example to the Muslims, He is showing them that you will not let the slave to be equal to you. And this is mean that Allah, He accept that. Accepting you taking a slave, accepting him to be nothing. And you know what? In Islam, we can go over the rules of Islam, because now, until now, like I'm watching the program, we did not cover other issues in slavery. Slavery in Islam, what does slavery mean exactly? Is it only a person who worked for me? Slavery in Islam is a lot more than this. Number one, a slave in Islam, he is not allowed to own anything.
It's coming up, by the way, brother CB. We're going to be talking a little bit more here in the presentation, but it's very wonderful point. Yeah.
Then I will not talk about it much then.
I got, CP, I got a translation here that might help us a little bit for our English viewers. It's the Rodwell translation. He setteth forth to you an instance drawn from yourselves. Have ye among the slaves, whom your right hands have won, any partner in what we have bestowed on you, so that ye share alike? Fear ye them as ye fear each other?
We don't.
No.
They don't.
No. No.
It's written, and when I translate this verse, it is one of the verses, if you translate it literally, you lose it. It's actually, you want to change
Right
it
hand
around.
possessed slave.
Yeah, right hand slave
is what you own.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't fear them like you fear yourself.
No.
And you don't share with them like you have among your own free children, obviously, or things like that.
Yeah. Well, CP, thank you for bringing this up. We appreciate you, brother.
I want to add something else.
Go ahead. Yeah.
One of the rules of the Prophet of Islam he created, that as an example, there is two women, they fought with each other. And one of them, she caused the other one to lose her baby. She was pregnant. So what Muhammad did, he ordered the women who did cause the other woman to lose her baby to pay her back a slave or a newborn slave. I'm just trying to pull up the hadith for you so you
A newborn slave.
I can give you the reference.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
What
like
a justice.
imagine,
Yes.
Like two women, they are fighting, and the slaves have nothing to do with this. Like a slave woman,
Yeah.
she is just, she is not aware of what the whole fight. And here we go. Sahih al-Bukhari, book number 83,
83.
hadith number 41. It says, reported by Abu Hurairah, two women from the tribe of Hazir
Yeah.
fought. One of them threw a stone to the other woman, causing her miscarriage. Yeah. And Allah Apostle gave his judgment that he, the killer of the fetus, should give a newborn baby, male or female slave, as a payback ransom.
It must be justice, CP. It must be justice. Allah know how to do justice with his Prophet Muhammad.
Yeah, you see, the two women are fighting, and here, I want those who they understand us, the brother, the African American. Imagine, I am fighting with Osama, and I cause, God forbid, his wife to lose her baby. The judge say, you know what? My wife should have, not my wife, sorry, the slave I own, which might be one of your wives, like those poor people, the slaves, she have to give her babies. Like in here, where is the mercy of a mother who have a newborn baby? She's going to give her own son to a stranger for no fault, for no crime she did.
Well, CP and Osama,
even if the mother, she is the one who did that. This is not right.
This is a perfect valuation, an example of the valuation of human life.
Yes.
In Islam. Human life has a definite price. Price for slaves, price for women, price for men. In the sense that, hey, this is property. What your right hand possesses, it's property.
It is, exactly.
Thank you, CP, for sharing that. We only have 30 minutes left in the program. I know Brother Osama wants to move forward, but you're a blessing to us, CP. Thank you for calling. God bless you. You want to continue on?
Absolutely.
You got a lot more slides, I know.
We'll get into Baghdad as well.
Yeah.
Listen to Ibn Khaldun.
Yes.
I shared with you earlier. We're going to talk about Ibn Khaldun.
In the Muqaddimah,
Yeah.
right? In his historical great work, one of the most respected historical works.
Who do we have in America like this to get American people to understand his status, his position? Who is a great thinker in America?
A great singer?
Yeah, somebody, a great...
Well, Michael Jackson's dead, you know.
not singer, thinker.
Thinker.
Somebody have power in the West.
Yeah.
To compare to Ibn Khaldun.
Okay.
I want to just give the American people an idea. What
yeah.
is this man's position in the Muslim world?
Yeah, well, you know, somebody like, let's see, well, of course, in the old days, Daniel Webster, John Locke.
Okay, so you got some idea.
Like that,
so the Western, when they hear what Ibn Khaldun is saying here, compares this to some great thinker, somebody in the West who have done great influence on the Western.
Yeah, Jonathan Edwards.
Jonathan Edwards,
the greatest American theologian ever.
Now, let's go to what Ibn Khaldun said concerning slave.
The preeminent Islamic medieval historian and social thinker Ibn Khaldun wrote, "The Negro nations are submissive to slavery because they are quite similar to dumb animals."
How do you like that? I want to see some black Muslim or some Middle East Muslim to come and tell me, how dare Ibn Khaldun to consider or to talk about black slave and describe him to be some dumb animals?
But this is a good representation of Arab thought concerning black people historically.
It's history.
Yeah, it's history.
I cannot change the statement. It cannot be removed. That's not a verse in the Quran you can delete or abrogate.
And this is a Muslim scholar and historian.
Great,
well-respected.
Great, well-respected thinker. When you talk about Ibn Khaldun, it's like Allah, Muhammad, Ibn Khaldun.
Do you have the verse, do you have what he said about the black person being burnt, overcooked?
No, I don't have this
I'll
one.
get you that one. In the Muqaddimah, I'll have to look it up later on, maybe tomorrow night.
I would like to see this
in the Muqaddimah work by Ibn Khaldun, he describes the black African, the white European, and the Arab.
Yeah.
And of course, the Arab is the pinnacle of the world.
Oh, that's the best of Allah's creature.
Because he describes the womb as an oven, right?
Yeah.
And if it comes out white, well, it's not cooked enough.
Yes.
It's undone, you know. If it comes out black, obviously it's burnt.
Yeah, cooked too much.
But if it comes out golden brown, it's perfect, and that's where the Arabs come into play.
Man. Praise Allah.
Yeah, well, this is in his work. Go ahead.
Okay.
Talk
Even
about
as late
racism.
as the 19th century, it was noted that in Mecca, there are only a few families that do not keep slaves. They all keep slave mistresses in common with their lawful wives.
That is the status of what's happening in Saudi Arabia, in Mecca, in the 19th century. Everybody have a slave. And it's very normal. You have wives and you have what your right hand possesses. They are fulfilling the word of Allah as it is written in the Quran. They're good Muslims. Okay, let's continue. I really would like to finish this part if we can. It would be awesome. Here we go.
And by the way, in the West, very few people had slaves in America.
Well,
only rich people in America had slaves.
People who have lots of farm, lots of land.
Yeah.
Okay.
The legends of European slave raiders venturing into the jungles of Africa to capture free people are generally just that, myths.
Here was he teaching in America.
Yeah.
The white guys go in Africa, with guns, and he starts shooting, he captures them and hangs them and pulls them and puts them in the bag and takes them to the ship and bring them all the way to America.
Never happened.
Let's read the fact. The fact is...
The slaves were usually sold by their black owners. There was no need for the slave raiders to venture into the jungles of Africa. They simply purchased the people from African chiefs and Muslim slave traders at the coast.
They were all brought all the way out. No white folks went inside the jungle to get themselves shot or killed to get a slave. The black chief brought his own people to the traders, which just happened to be Muslim, those who sold them to the European. It's sad, it's history, it's fact, and I'd like to says that, as we're going to see in the next slide here,
The disgraceful fact is that there were 3 equally guilty partners in the horrible crime of the transatlantic slave trade.